place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning.
Good morning, viewers. It's 7 a.m. and this is the Tobago Updates morning show coming to you live here from the Port Mall in Scarborough. And we take this opportunity to say welcome back because we continue to give God thanks for life. I am Julian Skeet. And this morning, we continue to enjoy the energy. I say it's the after Easter kind of cool down here in the Tobago space, Trinidad, and beyond. For those of you who would have been here for the celebrations, without a doubt, Tobago was indeed the place to be. A lineup of several activities, the combination, whether it be kite flying, whether it be gospel concerts, whether you were in a football match somewhere in Signal Hill, whether you participated in the bike competitions that took place at Buku, you happened to be in Mount Pleasant for the Sports and Family Day, whether you were at an event, rocking back and enjoying a private space, so to speak, enjoying the soca music. And I say that with such joy, my love for soca. And whatever you found yourself doing over the entire Easter weekend, what was very clear here in the Tobago space is that we had a number of activities taking place, catering for almost every possible interest that you could possibly think of. And so we want to take this opportunity to thank all those who came across to the island, and even to thank those of us that live here in terms of participating and supporting the many activities and initiatives that would have taken place. Kudos going out to a number of the organizers. In particular, our very last activity that would have taken place would have been the Taste of Buku, which took place on Easter Tuesday. Again, a celebratory type activity, giving that sense of just a touch of something, or taste rather, and therefore it makes us wonder quite naturally, what can we look forward to for 2023? We want to send out commendations to all the organizers and the various teams that would have pulled together these many initiatives that took place in the Tobago space as part of the Easter celebrations. And I want to join the call, as I saw earlier this morning, someone on social media speaking to the fact that come 2023, we really need to have a full calendar of events, because I saw in many instances people basically only knew about the event when it took place. In fact, I was chatting with some persons, even in relation to, we had over the weekend Bitter Cassava theatre production by TPAC, and we see a commitment from TPAC based on so many not being able to make it. That have no fear, folks. We saw a commitment coming through TPAC in terms of you can look forward. There's going to be another opportunity because of what was certainly an overwhelming response happening here in the Tobago space. So therefore, most definitely calling out to the Division of Tourism and the team. We're looking forward to that calendar so that we have a clear sense of what's happening. We are probably not going to be able to make every activity, but it's going to give us an opportunity to have a clear idea of the amount of activities and initiatives taking place across the island. And I continue to say that this is a good indication. It's a good indication of the coming out of individual citizens, groups and organizations, NGOs, as well as the support of the Assembly in terms of ensuring that a number of these activities would have taken place. And I'm always particularly pleased to see aspects of the private sector doing their thing in terms of contributing to the success and a very enjoyable Easter celebration. And then most obviously, we returned to school in Tobago yesterday. We returned to school in Tobago yesterday, and I've got one question. It's very interesting that according to my information, The one school that is yet to be reopened is the newest facility on the island, only being opened a few years ago in terms of the RC school there. So we're looking forward to getting some updates on that. The RC school being opened only a few years ago, and interesting enough, it's the only school, according to my information. And again, I know you'll update me on the live if there are others that would not have opened in Tobago yesterday, but by and large, the information is that all others would have been back out yesterday. I know particularly from my own experience, even with my daughter, there was a sense of joy and excitement. Those in the infant class, the lower classes that had been out of school, in fact, some who transitioned to a new school but had not been experiencing the physical space. Being out yesterday would have been a first time kind of experience in some instances, and they were particularly excited. In fact, I fell into the grouping of one of those parents. Morning, Katisha, my very good friend there. I fell into the experiences of one of those parents, excited, or probably more excited and a little worried. But the children, no worry in the world. They would have gone out and had a time, and certainly beginning to gain what is very important, as we would all know, that kind of social experience within the physical space, learning those skills about networking and socializing and so. So we want to continue to encourage our students and continue to encourage them in terms of going forward, and we look forward, and we want to wish you the very best from the Tobago Updates family here for a successful school term. At this point, viewers, we head over to news in 90 seconds with Denicia.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Rest easy at American Stores. Up to 20% off. Outstanding discount.
90 seconds. Folks, we just want to indicate once again things happening here in the Tobago space. And of course, just sending shout outs to all of you there outside, those of you joining us via TV, those of you joining us via radio, those of you joining us online, YouTube, via our website, and even those of you joining us on social media. At this point, we want to head on into the birthday celebrations, celebrating birthdays here on Tobago Updates. All right, and as we await those photos coming up this morning, let me start off by sending out birthday shout-outs to Brittany Duncan. Brittany Duncan, we want to wish you a happy birthday, as well as birthday shout-outs would have been celebrating up to yesterday. Kira Bailey Richards out there in Grenada. Kira Bailey Richards, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Trust that you have an enjoyable one. Also out in Grenada, K. Julian. Okay, Julian, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Our very own right here in the Tobago space, Stacy Ewan Best. We know that the celebrations would have been on the way yesterday. And shout outs to Sudian Conliffe out there in Barbados. Sudian Conliffe out there in Barbados. We trust that each and every one of you had an enjoyable birthday celebrations. And we continue to send you the love and support from the Tobago Updates family. We also want to send a birthday shout out to Mrs. Dee Dee Porter. Mrs. Didi Porter wishing you a happy, happy birthday. And we trust that each and every one of you continue to enjoy the celebrations and, of course, continue to give God thanks in every step of the way. We want to thank each of you for continuing to be with us and to join us here via TV, radio, and online. And therefore, at this point, we want to remind you folks to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Hello, Crime Stoppers?
This is Crime Stoppers. Please share only your crime information.
I want to report a crime, but I need to make sure it will not be traced back to me.
Caller, I assure you, there's no record of this call other than the information you give us and the tip number I assign you for you to call back and check on your reward. This system has worked in 26 countries for more than 40 years.
Help stop crime. Call Crime Stoppers at 800-TIPS today. Calls are safe and 100% anonymous.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
And creamy, you'll find it right here. Makes you smile, relax a while, it's fun and good cheer. Ooh, enjoy every scoop. Ooh, every taste will get you. We have flavors that you love, a combination special. Come along, enjoy our treats. This is Uncle Pete's.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Are you looking for that all-in-one shopping experience? Then look no more. Visit Lamb's Best Mart for your grocery items, fruits and vegetables, drinks, home items, stationery, gift items, hampers, shopping gift cards, toiletries, small hardware items, and much more. We provide order and pickup service, even delivery to your door. We are your friendly community supermarket. Check us out today at Lamb's Best Mart, located at 22 Daniel Trace Canby, or visit us on social media at Lamb's Best Mart.
Our national borders, our first step to security, but a possible access point for guns, drugs, crime. If it does not look right, do the right thing. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously. 800-8477. Report possible border crime.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
And welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. It's 7:24 a.m. viewers, and in this segment, as we're chatting this morning, we are chatting with Barry Lovelace, Chairman, and Maslon Roberts, Project Manager of the Tobago Reforestation and Rehabilitation Program. And we'll continue with just Tobago Reforestation. Morning to you, gentlemen. So this morning we're chatting about the self-sufficient Tobago in the context specifically of the Breadfruit Initiative. Mr. Chairman, just give us a little summary, in a sense, in terms of what the work has been so far specific to the startup of the initiative, and then we will go into, where the planting and so on has started.
Right. Well, good morning to your viewers. Well, the last time I was here, that was ahead of World International Forest Day, right? And remember we had a launch and so on of the program or company, whichever you want to refer to it as. And during that launching, we'd have had the announcement of some of our projects and so on, right? And well, our objective or mandate is about planting trees, basically, put it in very layman terms, planting trees, increasing forest capital, right? And of course, there are forest trees that you use for lumber, timber, and so on. And then we also want to promote the planting of food trees or fruit trees, right? And we said that in that regard, we're promoting breadfruit as one of the flagships, right? And we have made mention of some of the potential of breadfruit as a staple and so on, right? Especially considering the times that we're living in, food security is of high concern, right? So that event would have sort of signaled the beginning of that breadfruit initiative. Now, the Breadfruit Initiative, we're thinking of it in 3 phases or 3 stages, right? We have phase 1, phase 2, and 3. Now, in the phase 1, this is where we stimulating the conversation as to the potential of breadfruit, right? As an industry or as a commodity in the nutrition of Tobago, right? Put it that way, right? So we're stimulating that conversation in the first instance. Also, we're trying to do a sort of inventory as to what exists. Because if you drive around, and it's only since I've started with this thing, in driving around, you're starting now to observe breadfruit trees around the place.
Even more than normal.
Yeah, there's even more. And there are many, right? So we're trying to capture that somehow, right? And of course, we may not get every tree, right? But we going about a particular methodology, right? Also, we want to have a sense of who owns some of these trees, right? And we'd have put out a flyer. We got some good traction with a number on it, such that persons could call and inform us that, hey, I have a breadfruit tree. We'll take a little information. And the usefulness of that information, for example, our partners, Tatco, they have started investigating the potential of breadfruit flour and other value-added products. So they would want to know where they can source this raw material on the first instance, right? So that kind of information is important in this early stage.
So that clarification is very important,
yes,
in the sense that so our viewers know clearly. It is a combination of the initiative will see the planting of breadfruit trees,
yes,
but you also specifically want to gather information. Yes, you out there in Tobago, if you have a breadfruit tree in your yard,
I think Maxlon has
one that you benefit from and enjoy. Maxlon, project manager, tell us. I want you to send that message clearly so that persons understand this is not about a separate kind of grouping. It's about each and every Tobagonian that has access and has a breadfruit tree there. Tell us a little bit more
because
about that.
Morning again, Tobago. It's always a pleasure to speak to you guys, and for all the viewers on the live, we I'm really pleased to be here as the TRWRP. In terms of, as what Chairman indicated, the initiative is basically, it has a phase approach, because if we're talking food security and food sovereignty, and we understand that breadfruit can be a significant contributor as it relates to composite flour production and a number of these activities, it means then we need to be clear on what we have in store, so that when we are complementing by this new planting initiative, because if the objective is to satisfy all the households on the island, and roughly by CSO standards, we have roughly 20,124 households on the island. And if we're trying to match, let's say, a breadfruit tree per household, then we need, that's a target that we understand, and then we need to know what we have, so we can now look at what we need to add to this stock. And that's the reason why we're interested in getting this information in terms of what trees are on the island, so that we know, have a clearer sense and a clearer target. So the flyer was out, and the number is 7132624. If you can search the flyer, it's on Facebook, it's on the social media, it's on our website, it's on our Facebook page, and you can WhatsApp that number. There's also a QR code on that flyer. If you scan that code, it sends you directly to a form that you fill out, a biodata form, so we capture the information.
Right, and I have to say it for you have to keep cater for the senior citizens as well. My grandmother would tell me she ain't doing no WhatsApp and she ain't doing no QR code. What's the number to call?
Right.
So I have to call something during office hours. What's the number to call to report that I have a breadfruit tree and I want to be added to the list?
Maybe we should make a little free ad and put it on, and just so that you can put it up from time to time.
So there is a number to call as well. When you visit the page or visit this, if you WhatsApp this or you can call this number as well. But there is the office number that you contact, which I can't remember, and the extension of that off my head.
Right.
But you get that information on the Facebook page as well.
All right.
So
that
Granny and Auntie could ask.
Right, because we have to cater. We have to cater collectively.
Yes,
all right, definitely. Because sometimes they want to make sure and put in the information, but they want to do it through any grandchild or anybody else. All right. So I want you to tell us a little bit further, gentlemen, in relation to so that's one side where you're relying in the first instance on Tobago, where we already have existing breadfruit trees, and most persons who have these trees hold it very dear and near to their heart. In fact, they believe if you allow other people to pick off of it, you might blight my tree and so on. So don't go on it. If you want one, come and ask me, and I will direct you. But tell us a little bit further in terms of, we also know that the initiative has led to where we're actually planting breadfruit trees. Give us a sense of what the progress, what the startup and the progress with that has been.
Right. So I was getting there actually. In terms of, remember, this is phase one, right? So phase one, there's also an aspect of dealing with, of engaging stakeholders, right? Identifying who these main players are in terms of the initiative, and engaging with stakeholders. And of course, we have different levels of stakeholders. For example, we have within our Tobago space, agriculture, forestry, tourism. These are TATCO, main TAT thing. We also have Trinidad counterparts at breadfruit.com, who has been very good in terms of, he's the one who would have donated those first plants, those hardened plants, to enable the caravan, right? And of course, Centeno, who they're into propagation and so on. So we in discussions with those persons and planning now for the phase two, which is what you mentioned there, the systemic planting of trees to meet a particular target. Now, Maxwell would have alluded to it, right, in terms of the kind of target we're looking at. Of course, we have to refine it in concert with our stakeholders, what the target is, and then we start implementing strategically the planting of trees. Now, I would say, since the initiative started and we would have been on media and so on, a lot of persons have been initiating and calling and expressing interest. Oh, I have X amount of acreage of land and I'm interested in doing a breadfruit orchard. Where can I get plants? Right? Where we take the information at that point, and in discussion with stakeholders, right, we'll figure out a system whereby we can have a systematic supply of plants. And eventually, I mean, the ultimate goal would be that in Tobago here, we'll be producing our own breadfruit saplings and so on, right? Whether it be by, the ideal is by tissue culture, but of course, it might take some while to get there, but that's the whole objective That's what we're looking at. Right?
All right, great. Maxon, tell us, we're hearing all this grand talk, and in Tobago, we're now in the habit of, we want to see leadership by example.
Definitely.
Tell me about others who taking up their own yard space, starting from the very top, in terms of sending that clear signal that this is a collective kind of partnership. Where have we started up with the initiative?
So the objective of the initiative is to basically allow the assemblymen to be a part of the fold, because they are the most influential on the island. And if we're saying, as you said, lead by example, if the assemblymen starts rolling out that initiative, then the rest of Tobago is looking on and will take pattern. So what we have actually initiated is that we had some, as Chair indicated, we had some hardened plants donated to us, and we did a symbolic planting. So the assemblymen are asked to, in your constituency, find a space, involve the community, the churches, the schools, whatever, and have that one first plant planted in a space that represents the community. So that has been done. It has been done by the Secretary for Agriculture. It has also, well, the Chief Secretary started the initiative, but he did it by his residence. He planted 2 trees. Assemblyman Nigel Tate also initiated at his constituency in Patience Hill. And we have Dr. Faith also did her planting of that first tree in her constituency. And added to that, we donate 10 trees in that, so they start off with 11 trees. And those 10 trees are to be distributed throughout their constituency as to persons that are mostly in need of the trees. So that is how we started the leading by example. And that initiative is continuing, because we have several assemblymen lined up for next week. We had this whole Easter, so next week that continues to roll out in that form, because as you said, we teach to the clarity of our example, and words don't teach, it's life experiences that teaches, and that is a symbol, that is evidence that the initiative is taking up speed and taking up steam, and they recognize how important such an initiative is.
In an initiative like this, you would have mentioned specific to others who may have an interest. Tell us about the possibilities in terms of partnering with NGOs and CBOs in relation to this initiative.
Right. Well, I was talking to that somewhat, and I said, well, there's breadfood.com, which is a private operation. But there are also other stakeholders. In the Tobago space, we have like Environment Tobago, have interest in it, Tobago Arc, right? Corbin's Wildlife, Corbin's Local Wildlife Park. In fact, one of Ms. Panton's symbolic planting happened at that station, right? And on the Trinidad space, right, we have partners there, the CARIPHIL Alliance, Caribbean Philanthropic Alliance, right? They are involved, and we're having discussions with them. Bridge Foundation, right? And the thing about with Bridge Foundation, they are of particular interest in that they have a linkage with the Tree That Feeds Foundation, which is one of the major Caribbean entities or NGOs that are involved in breadfruit initiative regionally and globally, right? And we have also reached out to them directly as well. So they are also assisting in the effort, right? And even with the whole the inventory, because part of the inventory is where we're going to be geotagging the trees that we plant, or the existing trees that we become aware of. So we're going to have it geotagged and upload it to Google Maps, so you can actually go on. I've tried it. So the trees that we've planted so far are actually on the map, right? You can go and see them online and so on. So we want to do some interesting things there with the use of the technology and so forth to help us in the implementation of this initiative. And I just wanted to add, in terms of what Maxwell would have described there, in terms of you had the Chief Sec initiating at his residence. We are yet to do it in his constituency, but that's coming. We call it the caravan, the breadfruit, Tobago breadfruit, the TBI caravan. So it's rolling on. It has rolled so far to about 4 constituencies, and in the next coming weeks it will roll on to a community near you. Right? So look out for it.
Excellent. Give us a sense. What's your target like overall in this startup phase in terms of the planting, or as you would say, the Tobago Breadfruit Initiative, TBI?
Right. Well,
in terms of numbers, what's your overall target by the time you have gone through the respective constituencies in our now 15, I was about to say 12,
right.
but in our now 15 electoral districts?
What we can speak of a certainty is the plants that we have, right, that were donated to us, right, which is about 150 of the medium, I call that medium hardened one,
right.
And we had about 18 very hardened ones, and the 18 hardened ones, those are the ones that we're doing the symbolic planting with. Good. The other 10 have been distributed to persons who need it or to organizations who care for people who are in need, if you understand, right? Right? So that's creating awareness and so on, right? Now, in terms of the actual strategic planting, that's yet being figured out in terms of, as I said, because that takes a process. We have to talk to Centeno, who we envision as the propagators of the plants. They have to have a certain amount of time to grow the plants, harden the plants, and so on, right? So that's one phase. And we too, in Tobago space, will be also looking to do our own propagation over time. Of course, that calls for some planning and so with forestry, organizing the nursery, getting the manpower, and so on. So we're working through those kinks right now. Right? Yeah.
Excellent. Go ahead.
So just to wrap up that number that you looked at is basically 15 by 10 and the additional hardened one. So we're looking at 165, 175 trees in this phase 1 that needs to be out and established and in this first phase.
And our partner as well, breadfruit.com, has been, engaging us as well in Tobago here, and I'm aware that they too would have even done a further injection of plants, of gifting plants in Tobago over the Easter weekend, about some 200 plants or so.
Great. And I want you to bring some clarity as the experts in this area. My grandmother says she's hearing some misinformation. People saying it takes 20 and 30 years for a breadfruit tree to grow. Right. Give me some clarity. How long does it...
I don't claim to be an expert.
Does it take on average? How long can, in terms of us looking forward to seeing, in terms of growth, for what does the information tell us?
Well, on the first instance, I don't claim to be, in fact, Maxwell might be a better expert than I, but from the research, and it's an exciting journey for me so far in terms of the research and finding out about breadfruit. I mean, I didn't know this thing was so wonderful. I started calling it tropical manna when you look at the properties and what the potential of it and so on. But in terms of the time it takes to grow, there are different varieties. Maxwell could probably speak better to that. But the one that we promote, there's the yellow and the white that we know about. That's what we say about, right? But the one that is done by Centeno, right, and being propagated in Trinidad and the Caribbean, has certain properties that are advantageous, right? But that's called a ma'afala. That's called a ma'afala species or cultivar, right? And that it's a shorter, it goes out, it has a more bushy growth, right? Shorter. Right, so you could, it's not too hard to pick, but that's a problem, when these trees go way up in the air.
Extremely tall, you have to have the rod and so.
And especially if we go into phase 3, which I didn't really elaborate on.
You touch on that just now.
when we go to phase 3, where we're talking about value-added production, flour and different things, made from breadfruit, right? Of course, in picking them and so, you have to do it properly. You have to meet certain standards and so forth. So those tall trees might probably be disqualified. I don't know. Right, from that. But these trees now, especially if you do it in an orchard style and so, they grow short, you're able to pick them, and they're more prolific in terms of the number of fruits that they bear.
That they will be able to bear. Tell us a little bit in terms of that length of time.
So, in general, and it depends on where you got the sapling from and what age, because depending on the method in which you cultivate it or propagate. So if you use a tissue culture, that in generally would take a longer time before it reaches maturity to bear. But the ones we having, they're coming from air layering. So that's a plant that you take off of a mature plant.
Right.
And these Ma'afala varieties tend to have the characteristics where they exhibit earlier bearing. So we can see them bear. We have seen them bear in 3 years' time.
Right.
But that is, a lot of that is dependent on the agronomic activity that you put in. You can't plant the tree, starve it, have it suffering and expect it to perform and bear in 3 years. But generally, once that one that is well taken care of and maintained and ensured during the dry period it's watered and taken care of, it comes into production in the initial stages in 3 years' time. But generally, the ones we are accustomed to, anything beyond 5-7 years is what we experience. But this Ma'afala variety that we're planting has that characteristics of early berry.
And I think that clarity is so important because, you know, she was very adamant
Yeah,
when the conversation started about what kind of misunderstanding some of these people have thinking this is one in a in a lifetime. No, you know what I mean? So it's very important in terms of bringing that kind of clarity. And I want you to elaborate particularly just a little bit more in relation to where you said your hopes for where you want to take it in terms of that third phase, the direction that you're hoping to go to ultimately. Because I'm seeing people on the live, and you're seeing that there's a level of excitement, perhaps for two reasons. It's something different, and it speaks to a sense of hope in terms of moving this kind of project idea and initiative forward. So give us a little view in terms of where we're hoping that this will go ultimately.
Well, I'll let Maxwell elaborate on that. But what I want to say on that, if you dig into the research, you'll see we are not alone in observing the potential of breadfruit. It's a reach, in fact, probably global. Barbados is into it, Bahamas is into it, Jamaica is into it, Haiti is into it.
So we know catching up.
Yes, and there's probably need for some sort of coalescing of a Caribbean sort of effort as it relates to breadfruit production and so on. So there's a real sense of you know, hope as regarding breadfruit that is generating regionally, you know. So yeah, so
if we were to look at because it's always clear and good to know where you're heading, and if we're looking at the end result, the objective is to meet that a safe place where all the households on the island have access to the byproducts easily. Readily access to the byproducts of breadfruit. And as Chair mentioned earlier, TADCO is going to be critical in this because we're not really in the space of alternative flour production. We have to ensure that, you know, the byproducts are, the raw materials are available, and that is where we have our play. So the objective is to see breadfruit flour at least take up a certain percentage or remove wheat flour from our space, right?
And I recall that you know, that's just the, you know, as we're looking to wrap the interview, I wanted to speak to that a little bit more because this was one of the issues that came up quite naturally as we are facing what is increased prices and the challenges, which therefore automatically we heard our Chief Secretary, you know, the Honorable Fali Augustine, put out a challenge there that speaks to, you know, these entities, you know, reforestation, TADCO, etc. Now need to work towards how do we develop alternatives, how do we work towards alternatives. So I want you to give us a little more insight on that.
And breadfruit flour as an alternative flour is a very easy, it's something we did in UE continuously as research. We research all the roots and tubers and have them as alternative staples. It's just that certain characteristics that they don't possess in terms of being able to make breads, but they can make bake, they can make cakes, they can make, and there's a simple method to adjust them to allow them to make bread. It's a simple chemistry, right? And the objective is breadfruit is looked at as a superfood. The starches is a much better quality starch than wheat. It's an excellent alternative. It's a healthier substitute for wheat. So to get to that point, we have to change the palatability of the population. Now, it's something that Tobagoans are common with breadfruit, but in a particular form. So in order to change that palatability, it's a well-structured approach. And we envision something that we've been coining the phrase called the Bread Food Festival. That is going to be somewhere in the mix there to come up. I just mentioned that.
So far, it's just a concept, right? So, but I heard you talking about calendar of events and so we probably put it on there one time, you know.
And that is going to be like equivalent to blue food. But with the breadfruit, right? So that's the steps in changing this palatability, the diversity, and the versatility of breadfruit will be able to expose all of the possibilities.
And I would even argue for inclusion in the school feeding program, right? Breadfruit preparations and so on. So, you know, so that the young ones can start to taste and get to learn to like the taste of, move it away from flour and potato and rice. And breadfruit is superior to all of them in terms of its qualities. right?
I love the passion and commitment, but we just have about 30 seconds or so
and
to wrap.
the only way to get to that point, because breadfruit is a very perishable commodity. You know, once you pick up breadfruit, by 2 days it ripes. So the only way is to convert these foods into a storable form, a form where it can store for quite some time. And one of the key ways to do that is to convert it into flour. And that you have it in storage so you can always access breadfruit even in and out of season. So that is the aim and that is the thinking. If we're really talking about food security and food sovereignty, that's the way we're supposed to be conceptualizing the utilizing of all of these, materials in terms of going forward.
Put a plug before we go
your closing comments.
Right? I just want to put a plug for the stakeholders that are listening and potential partners that are listening. Let us discuss this, because we can't do it alone. Yes. We can't do it, especially when you come to phase 2 and 3. I mean, right now we're doing the stage 1, stimulating conversation and awareness and so on. We could manage that, but when it comes to stage 2 and 3, we really need the input of stakeholders and partners to make this thing a reality.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Barry Lovelace, Chairman, and Marcelon Roberts, Project Manager, Tobago Reforestation and Rehabilitation Program. I think it is safe to say, as the viewers rightfully said, let me close in one of the words of our viewers, Tenessa Lawrence. A good initiative, very informative, and you are seeing the questions coming out here in terms of persons giving their information. I love it. Breadfruit in all forms. That's Philip's Kate. I use it to make salad, fried breadfruit, pylori, when ripe, it was nice. So certainly we have our viewers here giving a clear indication, and we just want to remind you again, the contact number is 7132624. WhatsApp, or to utilize the QR code, feel free to check them out on social media. In terms of reporting, you have a tree. I see one of our viewers saying, I see a tree and my tree, it comes ripe twice per year in terms of bearing twice per year. So certainly make sure that you submit your information via the number 7132624. I want to remind all of yours, and thank you, gentlemen, again, for certainly bringing a lot of information and clarity here in terms of the way forward, and it's something to look forward to. The Breadfruit Initiative. And I know people are already out there and excited. Viewers, at this point, we want to thank each of you, those of you joining us via TV, Gael and M&E TV, those of you joining us via Smash Radio, as well as those of you joining us via social media, whether online via our website, YouTube, as well as via Facebook. And to remind you, this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards.
Welcome to Tobago Update Sports. I'm your boy Marcus Daniel. Thank you.
Trinidad and looms
as remains when
the public is
nobody lives here. Oil and gas exploration continues to affect the livelihood.
Spearsides marine
in Tobago fishermen.
When will the Roxborough Hospital be fully functional?
Of the 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. window
at the islands,
treasures like the Golden Waterfall
to rise in Tobago.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
This day in Tobago history. You might know that today is Her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth II's 96th birthday. But did you know that she was last in Tobago on November 2nd in 1985? Here are 7 things you didn't know about the Queen's last visit. Number 7, she was only in Tobago for 3.5 hours to commemorate the unveiling of a plaque at the then newly refurbished chamber of the House of Assembly. The plaque memorialized the reopening of the historic chamber, which at that time was under the administration of A.N.R. Robinson. Number 6, the Queen was accompanied throughout her visit by then President of Trinidad and Tobago, Sir Ellis Clark, whom she knighted in 1960. Number 5, the monarch had lunch at President's House at Government House Road. Number 4, the Queen had one other engagement, which was a personal high point for her, a visit to Fort King George to meet with some of the island's school children. Number 3, the Queen particularly enjoys mingling and chatting with children, and it was at her request that the more ceremonial children's rally, which was carded to be held at Shaw Park, was replaced by the informal gathering against the vista of Scarborough. Number 2, the Queen and her contingent left from the fort and headed to Crown Point International Airport, as it was then known, for their return trip to Trinidad. Number 1, this was the Queen's second trip to Tobago, the first being in 1966. On that trip, she overnighted on the royal yacht after a garden party at President's House. My name is Devon Adana. You've been watching This Day in Tobago History. Back to you, Julian.
We head on in. Thank you so much there again, Devon Adana. At this point, viewers, we head on in to share some information with you as we continue to share our love and support to our very own Rhea Richardson, George, and the entire family out there. Yes, Rhea, we continue to share our love and support, and I know all our viewers are also out there with you, and we just want to share some information. 2 flyers out there. This is the celebration celebrating the life of June E. Richardson, fondly known as Auntie June. The tribute service takes place on Sunday, the 24th of April 2022 at 5 p.m. That's Sunday, the 24th of April 2022 at 5 p.m. at the Mongrace Open Bible Church. And this will be followed by the homegoing service that takes place on Monday, the 25th of April, 2022 at 2 p.m. at the Mongrace Open Bible Church. So we want to remind all our viewers, yes, this is the mother of Rhea Richardson George, Auntie Joan, fondly known, of course, as Auntie Joan. And just to remind you, the tribute service takes place on Sunday, the 24th of April, 2022 at 5 p.m. at the Mongrace Open Bible Church. And then the homegoing service on Monday, the 25th of April 2022 at 2 p.m. at the Mongrace Open Bible Church, and the service will be live streamed via Tobago Updates. Yes, the service will be live streamed right here via Tobago Updates, and we want to remind that there are some format instructions. Persons interested in sharing tributes, those of you of course who know Auntie Joan, persons interested, let's pull up that next flyer. Persons interested in sharing tributes have the option to do so virtually or face-to-face. And just to remind you, the virtual tributes, if I could get the flyer back up, the virtual tributes, record your tributes in 2 to 3 minutes and send via WhatsApp to 723-5239 or 707 7205. And that's by today, Thursday, the 21st of April, 2022. Include your full name and your affiliation with Auntie Joan. And for the face-to-face tributes, we want to remind you to be presented live on Sunday, the 24th of April, 2022, and should be limited to 2 to 3 minutes. So we just want to remind persons of that. And of course, the service will be live stream here on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we want to continue to thank you so much for the love and support that you continue to show each and every day. And very quickly, let me just do some shout outs as we're about to wrap up. Vernon Simon watching this morning. Morning, brother Sai, Shanice John. We're seeing on the live as well. Nandi Safia. We're also seeing Russell Morrison, Kamaria Karut, Phillips, Kate, Tanessa Lawrence. How are you doing this morning? Simple and chemistry in the same sentence. All right. Dominique Carrington joining us on the live this morning as well. Christoph Warner, one of the coordinators of a number of events here in Tobago. Congratulations. Kamaria Karut. I see Kevon McKenna. Congratulations to Kevon and the entire team down there with the activities happening at A Taste of Buku. Kamaria Karut, as I said before, Donna Mae Walcott, and the list goes on. Good morning to each and every one of you, and we want to continue to thank you so much for your love and support for the Tobago Updates morning show. Following the Tobago Updates morning show, we're heading straight on into Good Morning Tobago GMT with Candice and Denicia, so we want to encourage you to stay tuned. Again, we thank each and every one of you so much for the love and support. Those of you joining us via Gael, via M&E TV, Smash Radio, and also those of you joining us via YouTube, online via our website, tobagoupdates.com. And for those of you on Facebook, we encourage you. Thank you so much for the continued support. This is the Tobago Updates morning show coming to you live here from the Port Mall in Scarborough. Stay tuned. Up next, we've got GMT. Bye-bye for now, folks. And as Ria would say, remember to wear your mask. Wear your mask. That's still required. Wash those hands, soap and water, or sanitize. Use hand sanitizer. And of course, ensure that we try to maintain our distance. As we begin to transition to what would be, life, so to speak, as normal, or the new norm in terms of going forward. Take care, folks, all of you in Tobago, Trinidad, the region, the world at large. Bye-bye for now. Stay tuned for GMT up next.
Any kind of weapon don't belong here. I don't want to break no bones. I just want a microphone. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Tobago Updates Sports. I'm your boy Marcus Daniel. Thank you.
Trinidad and looms as
remains when
the public is
nobody lives here. Oil and gas exploration continues to affect the livelihood.
Spearsides Marine
in Tobago fishermen.
When will the
Sion
Roxborough
Francis
Hospital be fully functional?
of the 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. window
Still find
at the islands
treasures like the golden
continue to
waterfall.
rise in Tobago.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Rest easy at American Stores. Up to 20% off. Outstanding discounts on selected Serta, Sealy, and Therapeutic mattress brands. Check us out today at American Stores, where we make quality living affordable.
Hello, Crime Stoppers?
This is Crime Stoppers. Please share only your crime information.
I want to report a crime, but I need to make sure it will not be traced back to me.
Caller, I assure you, there's no record of this call other than the information you give us and the tip number I assign you for you to call back and check on your reward. This system has worked in 26 countries for more than 40 years.
Help stop crime. Call Crime Stoppers at 800-TIPS today. Calls are safe and 100% anonymous.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
And creamy, you'll find it right here. Makes you smile, relax a while, it's fun and good cheer. Ooh, enjoy every scoop. Ooh, every taste will get you hooked. We have flavors that you love, a combination special. Come along, enjoy our treats. This is Uncle Pete's.
Are you looking for that all-in-one shopping experience? Then look no more. Visit Lamb's Best Mart for your grocery items, fruits and vegetables, drinks, home items, stationery, gift items, hampers, shopping gift cards, toiletries, small hardware items, and much more. We provide order and pickup service, even delivery to your door. We are your friendly community supermarket. Check us out today at Lamb's Best Mart, located at 22 Daniel Trace, Canby, or visit us on social media at Lamb's Best Mart.
Our national borders, our first step to security, but a possible access point for guns, drugs, crime. If it does not look right, do the right thing. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously. 800-8477. Report possible border crime.
Coconuts Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Good morning, good morning, put a smile on your
I want to meet with you to share my personal testimony and other local testimonies. Call me now, Juliet Roberts, at 341-0715. The number again is 341-0715. God bless you.
Let's go! Safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. You can play your part safely and anonymously. Report a crime. Earn a reward. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. Be a hero. Champion. Fearless citizen. Be a crime stopper safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning, Tobago.
Good morning, Tobago on Tobago Updates.
Your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region.
With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine. I am Candace Jackson.
And I am Denise Dempster.
Here's your news in 90 seconds.
Not all schools were ready for mandatory return to physical classes yesterday. Scarborough RC Primary School was one that had infrastructural challenges. Minority Leader Kelvin Morris said he got complaints from other schools as well. He is, however, disappointed with the lack of preparedness in Tobago schools and says it is inexcusable and unacceptable that many students were unable to attend classes. He called on Secretary of Education, Research and Technology, Zarisha Hackett, to apologize to students for not allowing them to attend classes and to fix the situation immediately. In other news, Caribbean Airlines is set to introduce non-stop flights between Tobago and Barbados. These flights will commence on Sunday, May 8th and will be scheduled twice weekly on Wednesdays and Sundays. The introduction of these flights is aimed at helping to connect Tobago with the rest of the region and to aid in multi-destination tourism. Flights are now on sale via Caribbean Airlines website and through travel agents. Citizens can look forward to the full implementation of the Procurement Act legislation by the end of May. This assurance came from Acting Prime Minister Colum Imbert during the question time in Parliament yesterday. Imbert says the new Attorney General Reginald Amor is currently reviewing the legislation towards the full implementation of a procurement system. Following his review, the Attorney General will then advise the Cabinet on how to go forward with an equitable and transparent implementation. That was your news in 90 seconds.
Well, Denicia, well, we certainly hope that we can have that legislation implemented pretty soon, because we know it's been a long time in the making. It's been there for a while. But, you know, moving on to some lighter things, how was your weekend?
It was tiring. I didn't go to everything, but it had a lot going on over the weekend, and the taste of Buku, for me, it was a great experience and also a refresh of memory, because like I said to persons there, I have been going to the goat race, specifically in Buku, since I was a little girl. But it was never something I paid really key attention to, because you go in there with your friends to meet up to Lime, so you wouldn't really study the goat races and stuff like that. But now, as I'm older and I am in the media, I paid particular attention because I wanted to see exactly what was taking place and how it's going to go about, right? So when I was watching the goat races, I learned that there are some rules that I didn't even know before that you have to follow. Like if you let go if the jockey let go the rope before he meets the finish line, it's an automatic disqualification. So for me, it was a good experience and also a refresh of memory, that the things that I didn't really pay too much attention to before.
Yeah, and it was very exciting. It was a pleasure being there. It was a pleasure bringing to you the coverage. I know we got some good reviews, and kudos to the whole entire team for making it possible. It was a lot of work. We were certainly all quite tired afterwards, but we're happy we were able to do it, and that was also a taste of what Tobago Updates can do. We can do a whole lot more.
Yes, and it was definitely a great ambience and a great atmosphere, especially given the fact that I would always say, because we were inside for almost 2 years.
Yes.
So there was a lot of people there. The support was amazing. The crowd was amazing. I think everybody was more interested in the goats running than anything else, because you would hear persons who were a little bit annoyed when certain goats and it was reaching down to the finishing line. A lot of them were like, oh my gosh, who won? And then we saw the flying goats, so it was a lot of excitement. The ambience was amazing, the vibes, the energy. And it was something definitely to look forward to. I think they exceeded persons' expectations.
Yes, they did.
Because when you hear a taste of Bukwedi, you would not think it would have been on that large scale. So they exceeded persons' expectations with, like, again, the ambience, the environment, the atmosphere, and things run smooth. There was a smooth transition. Yes, all the stakeholders were not involved, and we didn't have the village council, the Buku village council involved, but things still run smooth. There was a seamless transition throughout the entire day from start to finish.
Yes. Now we're looking forward to what happens next year, because next year is going to be 95 years. And that is definitely a mile mark that we need to celebrate. So it'll be cool to see what the plan is, and hopefully within the coming months, we should start seeing that. I mean, it should be a lot of stuff about goat races leading up to the actual 95th anniversary. But in the meantime, I mean, we've got some interesting things happening in the Tobago space. We had that very sad story just yesterday with this young man from Castara, taking his own life and trying to set his home on fire. I mean, thankfully they were able to save most of the home, but you know, he's unfortunately gone.
And this situation is something to pay close attention to. And why I say that, because suicidal thoughts, depression is not something, mental illness is not something that is being taken very seriously in the Tobago population. I guess by extension Trinidad too. So check in on your strong friends. Even if they're not strong, check in on your friends.
Yes.
See how they're going, you know. Figure out if they're okay, because there are a lot of people who suffer in silence because they don't want to burden people with their problems. So really check in on your strong friends. Make sure the ones that you really love the most, you hold them close to heart, because you never know when might be their bad day, and just that, hey, you okay, might make them feel better.
Right. Anyway, so we need to go to a break. But when we return, we'll be speaking more about Buku.
I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards. To
Welcome
our
to
top
Tobago
story.
Update Sports. I'm your boy Marcus Daniel. Thank you.
Trinidad and looms as
remains when the public is nobody lives here. Oil and gas exploration continues to affect the livelihood.
Speyside Marine
In Tobago fishermen,
When will the
Sion
Roxborough
Francis
Hospital be fully functional?
of the 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. window
Still find
at the islands
treasures like the golden
continue to
waterfall.
rise in Tobago.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Rest easy at American Stores. Up to 20% off. Outstanding discounts on selected Serta, Sealy, and Therapeutic mattress brands. Check us out today at American Stores, where we make quality living affordable.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago and Tobago Updates. I am being joined, well, Denicia and I are being joined, sorry, by Miss Ayana Phillips, who is the events chairman for the Taste of Buku. So good morning to you, Ayana, and welcome.
Good morning, Candace. Good morning.
How are you feeling now after the event has passed?
A sense of accomplishment and really, really tired.
All right, so give us an idea of, from your views, your standpoint as an events coordinator, and I mean, after bringing all of this together, how do you think that it went?
It was monumental. I've heard people say this is the best Buku goat race they've seen in many, many years. apart from our planning and coordinating the event, the goat owners were ready, they were trained, the starters were ready, so everybody was actually on point and it was well supported, over supported I might say.
With the success of the Taste of Buku, there has been some one or two like negative comments with the stakeholders and the Buku Village Council not necessarily being a part because they haven't gotten the time. You know, they said they didn't feel comfortable doing it before. Going forward, what are the plans to incorporate the Buku Village Council? Because this was just a taste.
Yes,
and some people said the taste felt like a full course meal.
Yes, it was.
So what are the plans going forward to incorporate the more stakeholders on board for next year?
Well, you're saying next year and people are asking for it many times a year. So discussions are going to happen. I guess the assemblyman for Buku Mount Pleasant will engage the village council once they have elections and all of that. And, you know, if they are not willing to do it, I'm sure that the Tobago House of Assembly will take up the opportunity to run with it because it's an art form that needs to be preserved.
All right, so there were some issues in terms of the budget. Now, I mean, the Buku Village Council is now saying that the budget that was originally planned for the Taste of Buku was not followed, that it went over budget. Now, are you able to address some of those concerns?
I am not able to address everything, but looking at I was privy to see the budget for 2019, and we are way below budget.
Can you give us an idea?
Probably $100,000 less. You know, we were lower scale. We cut out a lot of things. We didn't have much kids activities. You know, we went with suppliers and asked them, you know, to, you know, cater to our prices and stuff like that. So I don't think that such a grand event should go, you know, you shouldn't be mediocre when you're doing things.
Right. And what was the exact budget, if you're able to share that information?
Well, like the Chief Secretary said, it's around $300,000 to $400,000, thereabouts.
Right. And okay, so now give me an idea of, you know, what's been some of the relations though with the village council in what happened towards making this a reality?
Well, I know that they were in talks with the assemblyman. I don't know what happened, but we were having meetings, and you know, then they decided that, you know, this time was too short. At that time, it would have been 2 weeks, and you know, he just said we need to save goat race. And when somebody says something like save, you know, something goes to your head, and you say, well, saving is something, you know, it's either do or die. So I decided to call Kevin, and we pull a team together and we just ran with it from there.
And you guys were able to do this without any sponsors really coming on board?
The sponsors came on late, so big up to Campari, Magnum, and B-Mobile also came on board, not with monetary stuff, but you know, they were still present. You know, they had free Wi-Fi at the venue. Yeah, so we did it.
Are there any plans to market Taste of Buku on an international scale to attract more tourism? Because I remember seeing them taking part in the crab race.
Yes, sir.
But to market the Taste of Buku, because we now see this as something good for Tobago. Not saying that it wasn't before, but the Taste of Buku, people have been complimenting the Taste of Buku, the atmosphere, the environment, the whole dynamics of it. So are there any plans to market Taste of Buku?
Well, I would like to congratulate Tobago Updates, who covered it for the entire day. So this footage, you know, we can think about a marketing strategy of what we are actually going to do with that footage. I know Tobago Updates has a wide reach, but us as the people involved need to do more, you know, create a marketing strategy, see how far it can go, and see how many times you can do it per year, because this is something that could be like Olympics.
Yes, and we had some of those comments coming out that this was something that persons wanted to see a little bit more often. But of course, right now it's a challenge because, you know, the Buku Village Council is saying that the event is patented and copyrighted. So there is that stickiness, right, with how things were done. However, we know that this was a call from the goat owners to have this done, and they approached the secretary when the Buku Village Council said, you know, it's too short of a time to make it happen. So, you know, I want to get from you too, like, what's been the reaction from the goat owners themselves? Are they satisfied with what happened?
They are elated at this time. They were ready. You know, we didn't have to say much to them. They were training, they were doing whatever was necessary to get their goats prepared. So if this event did not happen, there was a strong possibility that we would have never seen it again. So, you know, they were happy, they were ready, everybody was on board, and, you know, they were satisfied that they were able to do this.
Are there any plans? Because when I spoke to, I can remember one gentleman, Mr. Husford, his goat name was Newsflash.
Yes.
And he won one of the races, and he said, you know, Newsflash didn't really train or anything, you know, he just came and he was prepared and he won the race. But you know, they said to themselves that they have been looking for this and longing for this for a very long time. And it's just a wrong, when this event happens, they are able to go and really take part and let their goats run to win a race. So are there anything that is going to be put in place for goat owners, whether it to be making sure that they are involved in the next event, making sure that they are part, because the only time the goats run is when it have goat race. Yeah? So are there any plans for the goat owners itself after the event happens? Thing happens with them, or it's just a matter and they just run? Okay, so what we did, Mr. Horsford was a part of my committee, so we were very transparent, we were inclusive. We had Linda, I think Ramsawak. She's also a former member of the Village Buku Council. So we had everybody's input. So we didn't want to leave anybody out, because what the goat owners were saying is that they never had a voice. So that's not something that we wanted to do. So we had them in, and they were including in all the decisions, and you know, they gave us pointers, what they needed and stuff like that. So I think going forward, they will be included in the planning process, and the actual, you know, whatever comes out of it, you know, they will be highlighted. So you say we could look for another taste of Buku by year end?
That will be the responsibility of the House of Assembly, but you know, once they're satisfied, I think that it can happen.
I want to get an idea from you as towards the stakeholders, the other stakeholders that were involved, and are they typically involved in a regular village council hosting of the event? And give me an idea of how they now feel now that it's over.
Are you talking about like the
stakeholders? Yeah, like other than the goat owners, like what other stakeholders were involved that are typically involved?
Well, the vendors. You know, people from Buku, we had a lot of vendors. We decided to do at least 40 to 50% of Buku vendors at the venue while we were registering. So, you know, that idea of economic growth and for them to market their craft and their local cuisine, you know, they were really happy about it. For tourism and the other divisions, you know, everybody was, you know, involved in it.
What other challenges, apart from the Buku Village Council not being involved, that the Taste of Buku experience that you were able to overcome in a short space of time?
Well, we didn't really take the Buku Village Council into our planning. You know, we saw what they were saying, but we were focused. It's a short space of time, less than 2 weeks, so we didn't have time to, you know, look at what people were saying. You know, we were busy planning, sleepless nights, you know, getting the budget together, getting the suppliers together, because in an Easter weekend, when you're trying to contract people, it's really busy. So, You know, you got to have suppliers in your mind, you know, let them estimate, and we didn't have time for all of that, so we couldn't see any negativity going on the outside. We were just focused on making it happen.
I want to personally thank you for an amazing experience for me, because like I said this morning, it was never something that I looked at. I just used to go to live with my friends. But for me, it was, I don't even know how to put it in words. It was a really fantastic, amazing experience. I enjoyed every bit of it from start to end. So I want to personally thank you on behalf of myself and the rest of the cast. We want to thank you for giving us a wonderful day. So there you have it, folks. We are unfortunately out of time, but you've heard it from events chairman Ayana Phillips, who expressed her gratitude and appreciation for the success for the Taste of Buku. And mind you, they had 2 weeks to prepare, and this was a magnificent day, a wonderful experience for myself and all of the supporters who were there. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
No problem. We'll be back right after the break.
I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards to our
Welcome
top
to Tobago
story.
Update Sports. I'm your boy Marcus Daniel. Thank you.
Trinidad and looms as
remains when
the public is
nobody lives here. Oil and gas exploration continues to affect the livelihood.
Speyside marine
in Tobago fishermen.
When will the
Sion
Roxborough
Francis
Hospital be fully functional?
of the 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. window
Still find
at the islands
treasures like the golden
continue
waterfall.
to rise in Tobago.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise. Let's go.
All right, well, welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. We are just about to wrap our show for this morning, and it's such a pleasure being with you. But we have a very exciting day coming up. We have the Queen's Baton Relay, Denise here. That's in Tobago. That's going to be exciting. And would you like to share like the route that it will be taking this morning?
Sure. So it will begin its journey at the Buku Beach facilities, where pictures will be taken with the cultural aspects. Thereafter, the baton will board the glass bottom boat for a journey to Buku Reef and Nyland Pool. It will also visit the main Ridge Rainforest, King George, and Scarborough thereafter.
Right, so that's an exciting thing to look forward to. It starts at 9 a.m. today, so you can look forward to it. I mean, it might cause a little bit of traffic, so please be mindful while you're out on the road. You know, now that school is out, everybody's out on the road, so the traffic is there. So this might cause a bit more of traffic.
Not just the traffic, we also had some accidents yesterday.
Yes.
So, you know, please be mindful on the roadways. You know, they say when you're driving, you have to drive for yourself and others. But please, please, please be mindful of, you know, the traffic, and be careful on the roadways. We want to prevent accidents and it leading to deaths. So please, please, please be careful.
And then later on today at 1 p.m. we're going to be hearing from Minority Leader Mr. Calvin Morris. He is hosting a press conference. So we'll be bringing to you all those updates as the day progresses. And even until into the morning, you can look forward to more details, of course, in the morning show tomorrow. So I guess that's it about it for us today.
That's it for us, guys. Thank you so much for always joining. Thank you so much for always supporting. I am Denise Dempster. Please be careful on the roadways, and as I always say, stay safe, keep smiling, and don't forget to social distance.
All right, bye, folks.
Bye.
Rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy